Hey guys, it's David here, and it's currently day 51. Hopefully, you guys had an amazing day, right? And of course, doing better than yesterday. But today, I have a story to tell you guys, right? So, you guys are in for a treat. And the only reason why I have a story is because I actually left my house today. Surprise, right? But obviously, I had to go with my mom to take my younger sister to this Chinese tutoring class, right? Because my mom want my sister to start learning the Chinese language. Obviously, she's Chinese, so she has to learn it, right? So we took her to this Chinese tutoring class, right? And it was an enrollment period, so they were running a kind of like a conference, right, to for enrollment. So we went there, and my first impressions of the place was amazing. The entrance, it looks sophisticated, right? There was glass panels, staircases, and then under it was like plants and stuff. It just looked sophisticated, not opulence, but sophisticated, right? And when you go in there, the front clerk, was wearing a suit, very well presentable, right? So he signed it, and then the person who came out, which I guess was the managing director of the enrollment conference, he was wearing a nice navy suit, and everything just looked so professional, and I felt out of place, right? Because I was wearing this, black, full black, windbreaker jacket with my freaking black jeans, right? So I just felt out of place, right? And of course, the director, let's just call him the director, right? He guided us to this conference meeting, right? Where there in the meeting room, there was about, 10 kids, 10 to 5 kids, and about, I would say, 15 adults, 15 to 20 adults in that room. So it's not a big room, right? Because 20 adults were pushing it, right? It was pushing the limits, right? It was pretty packed in there. But inside, there was parents and there was staff, right? And the staff, again, wants very nice suits. They might not all match in color, and they might not all be three-piece suits, but they were wearing suits. And obviously, by being an uneducated person in suits, right? I thought the different mix and match of colors were just, fashionable, right? And obviously they're Asian, so I didn't doubt their judgment because they know what they were doing, right? So I just sit there, being felt out of place and just admiring their, amazing service, beautiful place, the free food and drinks, nice air quality, good chairs, nice lights, just everything about the place felt good, right? So I was kind of excited, even though before I went there today, I was reluctant. I didn't want to go because who wants to tie up, 2 hours of the time going to an event that's not going to benefit them, right? That was me. I didn't want to go, but when I went there, it was a nice place. So I was like, I'm gonna sit down and hear what they have to say, right? So, then come the first lady to speak and introduce the principal, right? And she, quickly did a brief mention of the principal's achievements. So I guess that's just their credibility, right? To tell the parents what the principal had done and why she could teach or has the skills and abilities to run this, I guess, tutoring course or school, right? So she quickly mentioned her achievements, and then she passed the mic to the principal, right? And this is where the important bit comes, guys. So stay tuned, right? So when she gave the mic to the principal, right, she, quickly said, "Oh, look, I'm not this narcissistic person. I don't like to boast about my achievements, right?" So she said that, but 10 minutes later, she started boasting about all her achievements, what she had done in Melbourne, etc. Just, oh, like, why you guys should trust me, right? And at the first time, I didn't sense any red flags, right? And even though I should sense this insecurity red flag, right? And the only reason why I bypassed so many red flags in the beginning and during the end is because my mom was there, guys. My mom was my social proof. My mom was my reference, and I trusted in her. And even though sometimes I doubt her judgment, I trusted her, right? So I decided to not, turn on my cautious thinking and look for red flags because I trusted her. And this is why it's so important for you guys, right? When you do get clients, or when you, eventually get clients, the reference will be the key. The reference will, make your business blow up. Because when someone references someone, when someone gives social proof, when someone, says you're good in this industry around other people and they hear about it and they trust that person, That might be their friend, their family member, their boss, their coworker, etc. Right? If they trust that person, they will turn a blind eye and trust in your company. So, obviously in this scenario, my mom was my social proof, my mom was my reference. So I trusted in her. So I ignored her first red flag, right? And then, she started talking on and on and on. And to be honest, 20 minutes in, I was about to fall asleep because nothing caught my attention. She didn't mention the benefits. She didn't mention why we are here and why exactly or what the children could learn from this tutoring school, right? So it was really boring to, and I'm not trying to be rude, guys, but it's very hard to listen to someone when all they do is just talk about their own achievements, talk about, why they're good, and talk about why you should trust them, right? It's kind of, I guess, boring, right? So I was trying to stay in tune, but it wasn't until, right, 50 minutes in, 50 minutes in, that she mentioned the benefit of what you guys can expect from your children with studying under our tutoring school is to guarantee that after 4 years, they could recognize and read 90% of the Mandarin language, which is very, very impressive. Right? After 4 years, that's worth your money. That's why we are here. However, this is the issue. Not only did she mention the benefit at the end of the conversation, which kind of contradicts what I learned in sales, right? You're supposed to mention the what's in it for me question as soon as possible, and she left it till the end. And only till I heard that was then my attention got, pulled back into the conversation. But until she mentioned that, I was off in Mars, guys. I was like on cloud nine if I was, high or whatever, right? But that's how I felt. And until she mentioned that, I was like, okay, that's the hook. I'm listening now. However, she had no proof or any evidence to back her up on that statement, which is another, uneasiness for me, right? Because if you're going to throw this bold of a statement at the end, at least, show something, right? If you've been talking to her 50 minutes. However, she didn't. And the other red flag that gave off was, halfway during the call. And I didn't take this for notice too, because again, I trusted my mom, right? Halfway through the call, then she said, right, we only have been open for 2 months. 2 months. So it just didn't make sense to me, right? 2 months, and you're saying, you could help kids, increase their vocabulary by, almost 90%, right, in the next 4 years. And you've been open for 2 months. And obviously she said, she's been running, online, 1v1 classes or online classes, right, during COVID. And, she said she had experience doing that for 3 years. And she said to the crowd that it didn't work out. And she said it didn't work out too because in the start of the call, she was also, I guess, putting dirt on the online schools saying they're not effective, right? So she's not only saying it's ineffective to run online schooling or trust online schooling, but also that all her experience based on teaching the Aussie kids are during COVID time on this online school. Yes, sure, she has some Melbourne experience, but she never really backed up her claim. You see where I'm getting the issue from? Like, and of course, after the conversation, after the presentation, I again, was waiting on what my mom was thinking, right? Because I trusted in her. Because at the end of the day, it's not really my say if I want my sister to do this course or not, right? Because my mom, if she really wants my sister, she would let her do it, even though I, complain about it, right? So there was no point in arguing. But nonetheless, after that 1 hour call, they gave us a chance to do a Q&A with all the teachers, right? And this is where the good part happens, right? We had a chance, my mom had a chance to question the teachers about my sisters, studying and how they're going to tutor her, right? And my mom obviously was confused too after the 1 hour of explaining what the thing is about. She was still clueless of what they had to offer, which I don't blame her because they really didn't explain it, right? So she went up to ask the teachers. Her was specifically my uh, younger sister's teacher, right, who's supposed to be teaching her. She questioned her, and it didn't take long to realize that it was a whole fraud. It was a scheme. The whole thing is a host, guys, and it didn't take long for my mom to figure out. And I was surprised because my mom normally isn't the quickest person to latch on to logic. She's very emotional to buy, right? She's an emotional buyer. She'll buy. She's very easy to be sold. So the fact is that, guys, if they had a whole hour and they couldn't sell my mom, then obviously something was wrong, right? Something was totally off. And when my mom's uncertainty kicked in, I was like, wait, mom, you're uncertain about this? You're telling me, nobody told you if this is good or not? I mean, like, you're telling me this is like your first time here? And I was like, I took this by shock, right? And obviously, after my mom realized it wasn't the best and the teachers had no experience whatsoever, they had no idea how to deal with children at all, but nonetheless even teach them. My mom backed out. She didn't get sold. She didn't pay for their thing, even though they were trying to hard sell her, right? They were legit, offering all this urgency, saying, look, if you pay today, it's going to be really cheap. You're a VIP member. If you pay today, all the urgency trick they try to use, right? Even, bring in almost the whole staff team onto my mom trying to sell her, right? Saying, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Your children will definitely learn good in this. Basically, he was trying to reinforce certainty onto her by being this pushy salesperson, right? And I'm sure you guys all face in your life this pushy, very pushy salesperson, right? Whether in a third world war country or even just your local store, you have this type of salesperson that will just keep on pushing the product onto you. Even though you express dislike, they'll just keep selling you, coming up with all this like, discount, this bundle, and that if you buy this, get this, and if you buy this with good friends, all this random bull crap, right? Just to sell you this thing, and they won't leave you until you buy. That is what I experienced at the end of the stage when they realized that my mom was escaping their gaps and that their host was exposed by my mom, right? So obviously my mom, pulled me out of the car and, we had a conversation and obviously I told her how I felt about the thing. I told her what I liked and obviously what I realized to be a lot of red flags. And, she thanked me for ensuring this clarity onto her because she knew something was off, but because she wanted so much for my sister, she wanted my sister to learn so much. She wanted the best for her that she almost sold or I guess persuaded herself to buy. I mean, that's how emotional my mom is, right? To want the best for my daughter, for my sister, not my daughter. And so she was thankful that I, told her the truth. She was thankful that someone else thought the same. Because bear in mind, every other parent in there at this stage seemed to be handing out their credit card like it's nothing, right? To be handing out their credit card thinking this is it. If we pay, we invested into our son and daughter. If we pay today, it was almost like if they paid, it was like a self-satisfaction that they got, saying, I didn't come here for nothing, I paid. Now my, kids are gonna be smarter in, in talking Mandarin, whatever. It was almost like if they were guilty, they didn't pay. That's what it looked like because they were paying, guys. They didn't care. They were just paying. It's almost like it was almost like that they were the actors there, and we were the only, my mom and me and a few other parents and the real clients or potential clients. It looked like everyone else was actors because it was so willing, right? But it's just something I've realized today, guys. It's just this experience alone that really taught me a lot. Not only did I see in real life the power of perception and how perception can actually, fool us a great deal of time. But also what it told me is that perception can only hold your image for so long, right? It might give you a good impression at the start, but if you fail to live up to that image you project to the world, if you fail to live up to that identity, then people will catch on. People will catch on quicker than you can imagine. And when they catch on, guys, that's it for you, right? That's your face that you lost, right? So, they presented themselves as the sophisticated, business people or educators wearing nice suits, hosting a nice place. But when you talk to them for 2 minutes, they were stumbling over their words, unsure even what the price of their service is, and unsure really what they have planned for the future. So it was really unorganized. But because of the way they presented themselves and because of how emotionally invested my mother was, even that she almost got persuaded, guys. Even that she almost convinced herself that this is the best solution. So honestly, what else this experience has shown me, guys, is that it is truly possible to sell anyone, even if you have no experience whatsoever. If the need to buy is so strong, anyone can wear a suit and sell someone. It legit takes no talent or skill whatsoever to sell someone that needs it so bad. If the need is this high, just wear a suit, guys, and stumble over your words, and you can have a chance at closing them. So this is something I learned, and it's just something that's really eye-opening to me, guys. I thought, being a salesman, you have to be good at this and this. Have this ability and skill. You know how to talk to people, how to chat people up, and etc. How to be a master conversationalist, and of course, in essence, that's all true. But at the end of the day, if the need is not high enough, you can't close anyone, guys. If the need to buy is not yet there, the chances of closing them are slim to none, even if you are the best persuader in the world. If they don't need you, they simply won't care. So, that being said, guys, this has been a crazy Saturday, and I did enjoy touching the grass and seeing the sun on my skin. So, hopefully, you guys learned something valuable today. If not, that's totally fine, because I'll be here tomorrow on Sunday. See you guys then. Bye bye.